Hi everybody, Emilie here for Hip Kit Club, and today we are playing with a mood board that was designed by Kirsten, and again something very different for me. It took me a while to find the inspiration on how to use it, and then eventually I decided to just go with the colours of the mood board and a little bit of the florals because there's some florals on it, and just took it quite loosely, to be honest, but I was still inspired with it and I still had it inside the whole time I was creating. So I wanted to do a bit of a mixed media background. I went with a very loose packaging technique and then loads and loads and loads of splatters. I then went on to add some white splatters, but every time I was drying them, they were going translucent. So I wasn't quite happy with that. I decided to, after trying twice, I decided to just dilute some gesso with some water. So I took some white gesso, diluted it with water, and just splatter it all over my page. And that way we could still see the white splatter, because the white splatter were there to kind of blend that big mixed media background back into my white layout. While my background is drying, I've cut some flowers with some old dyes, and now I'm curling all the leaves, the petals around my paintbrush just to give them that little extra volume. I had one that hadn't cut properly, so just gave it a little extra snip, and yeah, just create my volume for all my flowers. I end up creating more flowers than I need, but it's always better to have some choices, because with the different layers you'll see a certain color more than others, and sometimes, even though it's exactly the same flower, just the fact that you've got slightly different colors, it makes a big difference and a big impact on your layout. Once all my flowers are curled, I've assembling them, so just gluing them on top of each other. I have got some that have 3 layers and some that have 2 layers. I am also going with the gold glittery heart in the middle for some of them, which, to be honest, later on I regretted. They are very strong glue, and I think I would have liked it more. Once I just saw the Paige Evans puffy stickers, I just thought, I'm silly, I should have gone with that. And I used them for my bigger flowers, but I regret not using them for my smaller flowers. Nonetheless, it still works and it's still very cute with the glittery heart in the middle. I have fussy cut the little map design from the Obert Marshall papers, and I've decided to use that kind of as a backdrop. I'm not creating a layout to anything to do with map traveling or anything like that, but I like the colors, and I'm not too bothered if the shape of the map is being lost in how I'm going to layer things. I just want it as a bit of a backdrop and also to cut through my big mixed media background. I am still using it as a map just in case, so I'm still putting Australia there, but I'm not fussed if it's not recognizable once the layout is finished. I'm then mounting my photograph onto the B side of that same map paper. It's a beautiful yellow, and same again, yellow is a color that's present on a mood board, and I wanted to feature it. I didn't want to just go with a pink and a blue. I wanted to have some yellow into my layout, and to repeat also my background that's a bit orangey yellow. Now I'm playing around with the flowers, trying to find arrangements that I'm liking, and yeah, I kind of struggled there for a little bit to find what I wanted, and I just decided to commit and stick down my photo and then work with it and go around with it. And once I was committed with the placement of the photograph, it kind of helped for me to commit with the placement of all the flowers and just make that decision and just go with it. Sometimes I tend to overthink things, and I forget that even though it doesn't look quite right at the time I'm putting things up, by the end of the layout it just all work. And yeah, sometimes you've got to really go with it and just, you know, take that jump and have faith that it's going to work out in the end. And that's kind of what I'm doing very much with this layout. I'm just taking that jump and I'm having faith, yeah, I'm going to make it work. So yeah, and to be honest, I did in the end. I really like this layout in the end. But yeah, at that point when I was creating it, I was like, yeah, okay, what am I doing? So yeah, adding more flowers, trying to balance the other side of that map. But then I realized they are different flowers and they look like two different stories. So you'll see I'm gonna go with some of my pre-cut flowers too, to just bring it back to that side. The smaller one was too small, and I'm bringing those other flowers on the other side to try to keep it balanced and try to keep it making sense on both sides. I wanted the same type of flowers on both sides so that it just makes sense. You know, you don't have a bunch of flowers. When you buy a bunch of flowers, you don't have a certain type of flowers on one side and another type of flowers on the other side. You just have them all making sense together. So this is from trying to recreate here. I am then thinking, yeah, you know, I quite like a little bit of an idea of scattered flowers a little bit, and I'm going to make it work later. I'm adding that big butterfly, big mistake, but I'm going to fix that later. You can always go back and fix your mistake. I love those little banner title, and I'd use that for mine. I think it's really pretty. And a few little clear stickers, it just make it all work together. It kind of make the flower part of the splatters of paint behind, and it makes it gel together and make it work together. So that's what I'm going for. I'm trying to not have two story. I'm trying to not have a background and then something on top. I'm trying to make it all come together. Just like, I don't want it to look like I've got a splatter glued on a page. I want it to be a layout in the sense that it's one piece and it bursts out maybe of the page behind. I don't know. It's just, I'm trying to make it gel. It makes sense in my head. It might not make sense to you how I'm explaining it, but it makes sense in my head. So I'm then adding those little strips of paper because I think there was still something a little bit missing and I didn't like that big white square. So I'm adding this little strip of paper. These are some scraps that I had from a previous layout, and waste none, want none kind of thing. And adding a little bit of journaling with my trusted stamp to add a bit of a story, because the title wasn't very self-explanatory. It didn't really say what that was about, so I wanted to add a little bit of journaling, which is something I've been shying away lately quite a bit. But yeah, it's I'm trying to go back and put a little bit of story behind my photos again and make that effort. It's something that I've been getting away from a little bit. getting back there. So yeah, journaling is being added, and there you go. This is pretty much, oh no, haha, this is what I said I was gonna fix. The butterfly, I thought it was way too big and it was an eyesore. It just was annoying me the whole time I was doing journaling, so I changed it and I'm much happier with that smaller butterfly. And there you go. This is my finished layout. I hope you enjoyed this process video. Please don't hesitate to look at the May kits from Hip Kit Club. Absolutely gorgeous. This is what I used for this layout. And yeah, loads of fun colors and fun papers. So thank you very, very much for watching. Love you. Bye.